Three. Okay, everybody, it's Jeff Eichen here with the Legacy Show, and I hope I'm not backwards. On my computer here in technology, it looks backwards, but I know it's not. So we'll get moving forward here with our guest today. Let me put him in. Let's go share screen, and I'm the back office at the same time as the front office, and there we go. So, welcome, Mr. Master Bill Boone. This is your destiny, your legacy, and just like in Star Trek, and let me get that one. Then it was one of those. One of those, yeah. It was. Here, I'll do it with that hand. It was a Spock
I could
thing,
never
and
do that.
live long and prosper. And today we're on the Legacy Show. My whole week I've been interviewing. Cosmic, spiritual, authentic women, and so you're my first gentleman of the dog. I would like to say of the week, and it's really beautiful to hold space with you. We're kind of like in our private little sweat lodge here, learning about what you do. The Legacy Show is about you, and then I keep up with you by just asking you certain questions about your life and who you are, and why we do all this stuff, and how many people as we get older leave the planet or decide to leave the planet. you know
Mhm.
and one of my favorite photographers, I'm doing a show myself. Before I introduce you, I'm doing a show myself called The Legends of Photography, because I got to meet Ansel Adams when I was 17. And so at a Ansel Adams workshop. And so I studied all the black and white photographers. Well, another one just left the planet about yesterday, and he was 94 and one of my favorites. And I didn't interview him. So that's two in this year. And so it just means, everybody, carpe diem. Don't hold your projects too long. And if you do miss somebody, don't get down on yourself. Go to their family and interview them and include them in your projects, no matter what, because their legacy is their diary through their photography or through their paintings or through their children, however it is. And today we're with Bill Boone, and we're really pleased to meet you and to greet you. And Bill, tell us a little bit about your prime directive, and introduce yourself, and then let's get going.
Sure. Well, it's funny. We have a couple parallels because, I've been, lifelong photography enthusiast. I've worked as a photographer in several different instances, both doing weddings, but then working for a company that where I went all around the West Coast, taking pictures at graduations, whether they be college or high school. And so that's pretty rudimentary, just sort of frame the good shot and stuff. But if it was easy to they could have a machine do it. You really still can't have a machine do it. You still need a person to do that. And that was part of when I was in college. I was a sports and news photographer, so I did a lot of events and stuff like that while I was at Stanford. And so working for the Stanford Daily, and that sort of got me
So the
doing
49ers were your team?
49ers is still my team.
Okay. you
And
know
so I've studied photography and love photography, and still that's what I consider to be my favorite hobby now. Um, One of the things that also resonated with me is when you were talking about legacy and things like that. A saying that I've used forever, and a lot of people will say it's my signature phrase because it probably is. I'm the person that they know that says it, and that's life's too short and you're dead too long.
Oh,
And
well,
so
but you reincarnate as a cockroach or the Dalai Lama.
yeah. And so you talk about so you talk about legacy, and you talk about life and having a life, and and remembering those people that have you shared life with. That's and why not to keep waiting, because life is too short, and we're going to be dead longer than we're alive when it's all said and done.
My
So
my one of my closest friends came to Washington State where I live, and he had his 50th high school reunion this last week. And I went over to Woodby and took the ferry and saw my girlfriend who lives over there, and we went and had dinner. And he was telling me the story 3 days after his 50th reunion from Bellevue. Yeah, I think it was Bellevue, Washington, near Seattle. And he said that when it was his turn to talk at the dinner, he said, "Everybody, we may have 10 good years left. Let's make really good care of them."
I have my 50th reunion next month
Yeah, there
from
we
high
go.
school. So
I was born in 58, dude.
yeah, me too. Then
I got to see Wilt and Jerry play as Lakers. My dad had tickets. And I saw Willie Mays at the
yeah, I saw
Dodgers.
Willie Mays.
Yeah, my dad was there, so what the heck? It's really. And then I mean, all of us watched history last night.
Oh, that was amazing.
Oh
I
my
mean, I thought the Spurs had it, but hey,
oh my
it's
God.
never
What
over till it's over.
well, sometimes hang on. Let's see if I got any. I do have some liquid here. Sometimes the legacy shows turns into My Dinner with Andre.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens. That was my dad's favorite movie. We watched it before he passed away. And he also liked Space Odyssey 2000, where, Hal says, "I'm going to shut you down, man." And then Hal got shut down. So I hope AI doesn't, disturb our world or our creativity. I hope it assists us and ends cancer.
I mean, I think that, from a medical point of view, that they are making some great strides because of AI.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
that's definitely the strong, the good side, and then hopefully we find ways to keep whatever the necessary guardrails we need to keep up to make it, be implemented properly across all aspects of society, so that where there is a benefit, it can be used, and used productively, and again for the common good. Kind of like the old thing, it can be it can be used for good, it can be used for evil, and we want it to be used for good. And we all know though that because there's money attached to evil, there's always going to be the fight to go against that.
Well, who saw the movie Terminator? I mean, let's be everybody. Listen to both of us here about our little AI moment here. It's to be responsible.
Yeah.
And respectful with AI. I use it, but when I sign my photographs, see, I did this rainbow outside in our town, and it was the most beautiful rainbow, and it was hitting our town. And I went out of my house one night when the golden light was happening, and I drove downtown, and I did this beautiful rainbow shot, and I blew it up, but it needed an eagle in there. So I put a box right where it needed to be over here, and I dropped in a Photoshop eagle. And so when I sign my photography at the bottom of digitally sign it and then print it and sell them, it says Jeff Eichen plus AI eagle.
Mm-hmm.
So we're transparent, and no one says, "Wow, you got the eagle." Well, I did, but Rembrandt got to paint whatever he wanted in the photo or in his painting, so why can't, the story be told whatever brush we use?
Sure, absolutely.
So everybody, we're with Bill Boone today. It's not a secret, but we're going to unleash the secret here. I believe from my friend who left the planet already, he was teaching flow. And I went to his house in Vegas, and he had a bird, Gandalf, 30-year-old bird. And Gandalf would say, "Hi, Jeffrey," when I came through the door, because he was in a cage, and Gandalf was super yucky. And this guy taught at the UNLV flow and magic. So when we're in flow, I believe magic lives next to flow. And when we're out of flow, I think the magic is blocked. And so everybody, we're going to begin our legacy moment with Bill. Bill, tell us a little bit about your prime directive.
Basically, well, my prime directive is, again, based on the philosophy, life's too short, you're dead too long. So that means you've got to take advantage of the time that we have. And what I do right now is, and this is sort of based on my background and my history, is that I help people over 40 start the right online business for them. And the reason, and there's two keys to that. One is it's the right online business for them. My process takes someone through a personality quiz where I sort of find out more about them. I actually have it on my website that you have up there, bestonlinebusinesses.com. People can take an entrepreneurial quiz and it'll come up with your entrepreneurial type. And so there's 8 different types of entrepreneur. And because if I use my example, I started almost every online business that there is. And what you'll find is that, some of them, I made money with some of them and some of them I didn't. The one I was making the most money with, which was Amazon FBA, I actually hated because it was like needing 16 hours a day to manage buy boxes, to worry about people that are dropping price left and right all over the place. And it was just not, something that was conducive to having a life, and from my point of view. And so what I'm trying to do now is help other people start the right business for them because the bottom line is that if you choose the wrong business, it makes your dream a prison. And so I want to make sure that people have the opportunity to find something that fits with who they are, where they, what their personality type is, what their lifestyle is right now, their resources, their experiences, so that all of that is congruent, so that there is a flow, so that the magic can happen. And ultimately that magic leads to what I think is personal fulfillment. And so that's part of what I do, and that's what my process is now, Jeff.
Guess what? Here you are.
Yep. So that's what it is. The right online business starts with who you are.
So walk us through this. Tell me where you'd like me to share with everybody so they can know what to expect, and tell us a little bit about your site.
Well, okay, so looking at the website here, if you click on taking the model match quiz, and don't do that right now, Jeff, because it'll take you down to the quiz, but that's when you take the quiz. It's 15 questions, takes you about a couple minutes, and then it'll come up to, if you click on where it says models, then you'll be able to see, then it'll tell you which model you are. And so there's models that are built for, there's like the guide for coaching and consulting. There's the architect for digital products and courses. So it'll help you determine that based on your personality type, which models are going to be the best for you. It'll come up with a primary model and a secondary model. And so with that, then it'll let you know who you are. And then here's the types of businesses that you're more likely to enjoy as well as have success at. So for example, go ahead.
So do you suggest to people after interviewing them and letting them take your quiz, do you suggest to them what you feel by your experience, what is the best modality to become successful online?
Yes. Okay. Because I've done drop shipping, I've done Amazon, I've had a store, I've done, affiliate marketing. I've in 20 different flavors. I've done e-commerce. I've done them all. And so I know what it takes and I know what they entail. And so at this point, having worked with as many people as I have, I pretty much know from a personality point of view, whether, like, for example, like if somebody is somebody who's really sort of outgoing and feels that they have a story to tell and they have a certain amount of charisma, then that might be somebody that would be better as a content creator, somebody who's going to be better as a leader of something like that, where they have a YouTube channel, they do a podcast, and they do collaborations, and they do things like that to bring people together, and they're telling a story. Then there are the people that are really introverted who don't want to have to deal with people. Then those are the people that, you might be best doing software as a service, and especially now that you don't have to be a programmer and you can do vibe coding through, AI to create products. Then that's now a perfect avenue for that person. So you build products that you're going to sell that you don't have to, that you can be faceless and nobody has to know who you are, and you don't have to worry about, well, what do people think about me and all that stuff. Then there are other people that are your hustlers, the people that get bored if they do the same thing over and over again. So they're your freelancers. They're the people that provide services. And then if you're a person who likes to do services and you're in a structured way, then that's where you create an agency, or you solve a problem and you solve that, and you look for people that need help solving that problem. So depending on your personality, and also it could be depending on your need to make money. if you need to make money sooner than later, then there's a couple of things that are going to say, oh, look, you want to do affiliate marketing, that's not a fast money maker. You can make money on it, but you're going to need to build a good list, build good relationships, and that one's going to take more time. If you want to, so there's different things that all go into what's the right business for you. But the bottom line is, it's easy to find the right one. It's easier to be in the wrong one than to find the right one. And so that's what I help people do.
And so what's the length of time? How many sessions do you do with the client, and then what's turnaround time to find a little bit of success?
My main program that I have is called the Dream to Launch program. So we go from the dream to the launch.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically we probably spend 6 weeks. So we spend a couple of weeks where we get to know each other. I get to know you, get to figure out, what your skills are, your strengths are. I have a couple workbook type exercises where that I see how you operate so that I can determine, under stress and under that, like, what is your personality type, not just, you're this or that. So we really spend some time to try to get that,
So it's a one-on-one deal. And how many clients at one specific time are you juggling yourself that you're working with? Do you work with multiple clients at once throughout
I do, but okay. I probably no more than 8 to 10 at a time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then the other version of my program, so that's the full program. But then otherwise, we can do like what I call a mini VIP day, where that if somebody says, look, I just want to get some ideas and I want to bounce some ideas off of somebody that's been there, that knows all these models, and I'm willing to do it on my own, or I've already bought this program that I want to take it through, but I need somebody to give me some advice in terms of how it all works and what I should consider and what are the pros, the cons, the ups, the downs. Then I can do then we can do a couple hour VIP day, so to speak. And then that's just a one session opportunity.
That's fantastic. I'm going to take you up on this whole thing. I'm in late life crisis with too many things that I have on my bucket list as my goals and everything. I'm a documentary filmmaker, and I represent prisoners in jail for nonviolence, and I also am a fine art photographer. So all these things wrap into one. It's up to me to ultimately make my choice of which direction I want to go. But I'm really excited to meet you and to find somebody that, again, everybody that can.
And one thing, and while you're on the tools page, one of the things I've done too is, like, a lot of people in my situation and your situation, it seems like there's so much noise out there on the internet. There's like 20,000 new tools. There's all these different things that are available. So what I've done is I've sort of taken down the tool list to a curated list that if you start with these, you have everything you need, so that you don't have to worry about all the overwhelm and stuff like that. So I've tried to make it easier, based on whatever situation you need, whatever business you write. For example, so like if you look below, okay, you need website and landing pages, those are the different options there, and we just keep it clean. And I am always, somebody that's active in a lot of online communities, so I know what the tools are. I work with a lot of these tools every day. I use them for my own business. And so I can make sure that if someone says, look, if I've heard about this, like, well, that one you don't need to worry about. You don't need to spend the money on it. Because like a lot of the tools that I'm recommending start out with free trials.
You're like the success psychologist. You assess somebody through your tools, and then you pick out the perfect or the close to perfect place that they should be for success, and it's up to them. It's up to them to follow through.
Well, I get them to the launch point. I get them to say, okay, look, here's the business we want to start. Here's what I know based on my experience that it's going to take to run this business. So I have a checklist to help them get started at that point, but I'm doing the launch. And if somebody then wants to continue to have coaching with me afterwards, then it's more on mindset and their entrepreneurial instincts and business decisions as compared to the increments of that particular business.
So I'm interested in up here. I see models, coaching, speak, resources, blog, about. I'm interested in testimonials. Do you have video testimonials?
Actually, they're coming.
They're coming.
They're in production right now.
Right, because that I believe, over my years of being a graphic artist and a filmmaker, and my family is from LA, and they're Emmy Award TV people, and
I'm in Pasadena.
Yeah, and I'll be in Burbank tomorrow morning. So I'm going down for a wedding. Anyways, my niece is getting married, so that's going to be a blessed moment in my life. So the testimonial pages, because I think that for you validates everything. You know, when I talk about prisoners in jail for cannabis, and somebody in jail for 3 strikes for life without the possibility of parole. And I work with Tommy Chong and other people to help to get the prison factor out and end prohibition for something that's helping us and that is legal now in Schedule 3. It's really beautiful that I have testimonials, because I cannot say this helps you or this helps anybody, but I can have people around me give me testimonials. So I think that would be your next.
I agree. They're actually under production now. I've already secured most of the secured several, and converting a couple of them from text into video.
I think that'll be great. That'll be great. Well, thank God to AI. So let's back out of the share here and come back to StreamYard. Let's go back to StreamYard and go remove, and let's get stop share and bring you back here and go boom. So let's see if we can find our it's not showing me all of my. Okay, so we'll go backwards here. We'll go share entire screen. We'll bring you back up to the front here. Okay, so I've got Bill here, everybody, Bill Boone, and he's got a really farm aid way to help you decide which way to go online and in your world and in your life, according to all this incredible technology we have. And, you know, we're the same age, so we came in late to the game with digital.
Well, I mean, I actually started my career when I was a student intern when IBM announced the PC. So I mean, so in terms of the PC, I've been there since day one.
You mean in '69 when they had the cards with the hole punches?
Well,
yeah.
I have some.
There you go.
The note cards.
Yeah. And we had a K Pro. That was the first computer we had.
My first one was like I didn't get into computers before the IBM PC, but then I worked at IBM PC. I worked at IBM, and I bought an IBM PC at the employee price, which is $3,500.
And how much RAM did it have? 2K?
Oh, no, it had 64K with the upgrade to one, and I had the 128K upgrade with a 20 megabyte hard drive.
Right. And that was huge.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
You know.
It was huge. Well, I'm a photographer, and so I navigate all that crap, and I'm in between cameras right now. One of my cameras died. The shutter died about 3 days ago, and Canon's got my camera right now. So I'm deciding which mirrorless I'm going to buy. Is it going to be the R7, the R8, or the R6 Mark III or II, and what fits my budget? But I'm going into a new angle right now. My buddy, who I met here at my house while I was doing an interview, he said, "I love your GMC motorhome, Jeffrey, outside." And I've restored 5 GMC Roundy motorhomes from the 70s. And he says, "I want to do a car show on the GMC motorhome, and I want you to be the DP." And so we're negotiating right now about doing the last car show, the last man standing, because during COVID, they canceled all the car shows. They canceled like the Jay Leno car show and all those things. They did them till they couldn't afford them anymore. And so now this guy's an old timer like us, an OG old guy, OG, and or OG old granny. You know, so the idea here is that we talk about our legacy and where we want to go. So I'm going to get into cars right now, and I'm going to be shooting cars and car culture and for a living. And I'm going to help him to market his shit too. So maybe we'll come to you and get a little guidance.
Well, there's a show I can tell you about that's in Superior, Arizona, where they've got all kinds of beautiful cars from hand restored from the 30s and the 40s. I mean, some beautiful cars.
Well, we've got 29 cars in an old soda fountain on this guy's property I went to the other day, and you can't believe it. And he's even got Elvis's trailer, and it says Elvis on it, and it was from Vegas, and it's in his lineage. But he's 80, and his wife is 80, and I interviewed them, and there was an Aston Martin there with the guy that owns it, and it was a $200,000 Aston Martin with the chromey engine, and I filmed it and did all that stuff. So I passed the test, so that looks like one of my current projects that I'm going to be working on. And so not all of us get Social Security, and so I'm going to go for the money, go for that. So everybody, we're with Bill Boone, and Bill, let's go, Mr. Wizard. Let's go back in time. When you were a child, who inspired you to be different and who you are and want to help humanity? Teacher?
Well, I'd have to say, fortunately, I grew up in a great environment. Both of my parents were, of a service mindset. I mean, my dad was a city manager in Pasadena, and my mom was a high school counselor and had been a teacher for 20 years.
And they were supportive of you?
Oh, they're very supportive of me. I mean, they came to all my events and all that stuff. But the thing is, like, my mom always volunteered for the Red Cross. My dad, helped people out in the community who, either were getting evicted and all this stuff was on the porch. Then he would take me over there as a kid to help them put stuff into a van that he rented so they could get stuff to someplace else and put it in storage until they could get out of the shelter and things like that. So then my sister, she's run a charity for 20 years with her husband in Long Beach, California. Charitable giving has been, part of my life. I've been on several nonprofit boards. I've done, one of the years while I was in the corporate world, I won a Volunteer of the Year award for the company I worked for.
That's fantastic.
They had a volunteer program, and I had, there were a couple people that had more volunteer hours than me, but I had more hours at more organizations than anybody else had.
So to answer my question, what or who inspired you? What was that aha moment?
I'd say it's been ingrained. I think it's what I was born with. To help, it's
so you're fruit off the tree. It doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's like inspiration. It's like it's not a matter of inspiration. It's part of DNA.
Mm-hmm.
It's more that I don't know. I guess I grew up and I'm moving into things. I'm the guy that most of my friends come to for questions, and then if it somehow it takes me down, I've been down so many rabbit holes where that I didn't know I was going to be spending a day on a project, but it's something that I needed to help somebody with. Or that I've had to, I'm the guy that used to get the calls at 2 a.m. I'm stuck, and I go help. That's just sort of me. So I guess I'd have to say that's main inspirations because that's what I saw my parents do. And then the people that my parents had, my parents were both older when they had me, they were in their 40s, when I was born. And so the people that they were around were also people that gave to the community, that were the people that if somebody needed a resource, that they were the people that other people called. So I guess that's just the environment I grew up with. So I'd say it's
sure. Well, they're our first teachers. I mean, our parents and the people that are in our city, our town, are growing up and everything. I see like offspring, like my my beautiful niece who's getting married. She's a book writer, and my sister's a television writer. And my sister wrote The Jeffersons. And Who's the Boss and Cheers. So, So I come from high lineage on TV, but her kids, all three of her kids are published, and are doing television and other things. So it doesn't fall far from the tree. Just like Bronny or Dylan Harper, who's Ron Harper's
Yeah.
son. He's fantastic. He's a great basketball player. But why not? If your dad was a baseball player, you'd probably be a slugger. Right? Unless you wanted to, show your dad up and go to basketball. If your dad was a baseball player. So everybody, we're with the Legacy Show here, and it's over the hump day. It's Thursday, and I'm traveling down to LA. Are you in LA right now? Is that where you live?
No, I'm in Arizona.
Oh, in AZ. Okay, cool. And where in
That's
AZ?
not cool, but.
Oh yeah, are you in Phoenix where it's 120?
No, it's just 103 today right now. Yeah, 103.
103. Okay. Well, I live in the Pacific Northwest, 2 hours north of Seattle. It's beautiful here. Today is about 69, 70, and we're in springtime, rolling down to summertime, and some summertime. Tell us what your hope is for the planet.
That we can all really just get along and love each other. That all of the division that we're facing right now, all of the lack of trust in and everything, that can just go away. That that we can be friends and that there can be debate. Because I remember back from the time that we were growing up until probably 10 years ago, you could have friends. It didn't really matter what political side they were on, because we could openly talk about it and debate it. It's like just you talking
Right.
about something didn't make you didn't have to hate somebody because of that they were a different belief.
Red or blue.
Yeah, you can talk about it, and stuff like that. And then and especially in terms of the line of politics, it's like you say, you're wrong, okay, yeah, and then still go out and have a beer. You could be having that beer right then and enjoying it, and you didn't even think twice about it.
Okay.
And then and it didn't even think to leave a bad taste in your mouth that they thought that. And now, I'd say that things are at such extremes where that you got to feel that that's something that there's a lot of people out there that are just really batshit crazy.
Well, I heard the Black Panthers are gearing up. So let's not go there, but I did hear that. So you didn't hear that, everybody. It's time, though. It's time to come back to the love. It's time to, I'm a Jew, but it's time to come to, a Jesus space, and a golden rule space,
Yes.
and growing up a Jew means that I'm empathetic for your tribe, for growing up Black, or even a woman growing up, in America or anywhere. It's amazing to see the separation, the burqas, the whole planet is I don't go with my parents that used to say, well, we've always had war, get used to it.
Yeah, I don't believe that. And
See, I'm producing a concert at Oakland Coliseum with Snoop and Willie and Melissa Etheridge for the prisoners in jail for marijuana, and we're gonna all get there. We're gonna be 42,000 people. It's a small venue, and then we're gonna do a tour, and we'll get Joan Baez and we'll get Bruce Springsteen and everybody. Ice-T used to spin in my club at MacArthur Park at Club Radio in '83 when Prince was doing Purple Rain. All that shit happened in our lifetime, and now we need to get back through, I think, coming together and doing the peace concert. So that's what I'm producing right now. So if you know anybody in that world, I'm looking for a producer, and that is going to be so incredible. And all the proceeds will go to the Prisoner Project. Last Prisoner Project, to the Freedom Grow, to the Can Do Clemency, and to my buddy from Chronic Magazine, Joel. He is committed to helping me, and we're looking for Mike Tyson because he was on the cover of his magazine 2 months ago, to invest in this, and that's it. We want to help to right the wrong through music.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Lady Gaga did Fire Aid. The name of my I don't have my T-shirt on today, but the name of my organization is Relief Leaf, Leaf for marijuana, and it has broken bars and the hands holding marijuana leaves and everything. Why should anybody be in prison for a
Right.
plant? And again, this is not about my projects, it's about everybody's project. And we're with Bill Boone. Bill Boone can help me, help you, and he's going to have testimonials on his site soon. And I'd be happy to, help you with editing or anything that I do, and we'll be friends forever now, Bill.
Well, I appreciate that, Jeff.
Yeah. Do you did you live in LA for 20 years?
Yeah, I grew up in Pasadena,
Okay.
and so then I went there until I lived there, and so I went to college. Then I went to Stanford for undergrad. Then I went down to UCLA for my MBA, and then I lived in the Bay Area until 2016, and then I moved to Arizona at that point.
Did you ever know the Mooney twins?
The who?
The Mooney twins?
No.
They were at the Whole Life Expo, two black brothers, and they got up on stage and mocked the whole smoothie business and eating your sprouts and all that kind of stuff. But they were epic. One of them just left the planet, but for so
like Paul Mooney? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, okay.
It was epic. It was epic being in that world. I'm a raw vegan, so I was in that world, and I went to all the the cosmic arrangements. I mean, I like the girls, the cosmic girls. They had better tattoos, and so everybody. We're with the Legacy Show. We're with guest Bill Boone. Bill, tell us a little bit about what you want to be remembered for, your legacy.
I guess I hadn't put a whole lot of thought into that, but I mean, I'd like to have a good memory that like I was there to help other people, and that I made a difference at least in somebody's life. Kind of like that example of the starfish on the beach, where somebody reaches in and pulls out, the kid goes down and takes the starfish and puts it back in the water. And when there's a whole bunch of others out there and saying, well, that's not gonna make any difference, but I made a difference in the life of that one. And so if I can have as many people as I feel, as many people can feel that I made the difference for them, then that's what I'm trying to do. And that's one of the reasons why I'm in the business I'm in, because I'm helping people find the right thing for them that nurtures their soul, that can also help them provide for their family and their legacy.
Have you done hospice before?
Not officially.
I've done it like 3 times, and each person said the same thing when I interviewed them. I said, what do you have to say? And they said, be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Well,
I think when you look back, that's the thing that, that's where the most difference can be made.
Right.
Is through that human kindness and that connection that, that it's kind of like the same thing where it's not what you say, it's how you make people feel.
I've been listening to Luther Vandross all week because he sings this song for my father, and I was a DJ for years, and every Father's Day I would play, Old Man, Take a Look at My Life, and I would play Luther. And when Luther came on, I would say, hey, everybody, get the tissue, And I saw Luther at in Santa Monica. He was in line, buying some food, and I said, doesn't look like you're having such a great dinner. He says, a girl's got to watch her weight. And so that was my Luther moment when I met Luther. But Luther was a really sensitive, gentle soul. And again, back to music, the musicians are the people that I got to meet. I got to meet Prince and like I said, Ice-T. Ice-T's been a cop now after he did Cop Killer. Been a cop on TV for 20 years. Go figure. Yeah. Go figure. He's the longest, color person on TV ever. And then let's not talk about the rest of them. But the idea is that we stop the division, through color. I was in Standing Rock, and I know a lot of indigenous humans that just, they love me, and I come in and they let me photograph, them and tell their story. So right. Through the Legacy Show, everybody, we're telling stories. We have Bill Boone today. Bill, what would you tell the children?
Definitely to keep the, to go with the rules you learned in kindergarten. You know, share your toys, be nice to each other, watch out for your friend. Somebody falls, help them up. All of those things, all those lessons that have to do with, you know, looking out for other people as much as you look out for yourself.
So the no bullies T-shirt
Oh,
allowed,
absolutely.
allowed.
What I tell is like, man, if you see a bully, then you guys go pound them. Pound the bully out of somebody. I
Pound
know
the
this sounds
bully
violent,
out
but
of somebody. That's a great line, you know. But I was studying Gandhi this week. I heard it on NPR. Some guy wrote a new Gandhi book or something, and he said the key to no more war is through Gandhi's nonviolence. You know, he teaches nonviolence, NVC.
well, it's you almost you want to believe that turning the other cheek and not retaliating would be the answer, but lately what I've seen out of society is that okay, that just means it makes it easier for you to be killed. Um, you
Oh,
know,
it's amazing
this
right
way
now.
they'll just wipe you out if you don't fight back.
It's amazing
And
right now.
so
Yeah, it's amazing right now. You were alluding to the fact that before you could reason with somebody from the other side, and today you can't, because I believe in that also. The first term of Mr. Orangeskin, was I could reason with somebody with a Republican, and they would go, "Oh, I see what you're saying," and they drilled Standing Rock, the sacred river, the first day,
yeah.
and I said that just wasn't right, and they go, "Oh, I can see that," and then now there's no way you can reason or even have a conversation with the people on the red side. It's it's a
Yeah, there
it's
used to be, you used to be able to have a middle ground, like let's say, the full spectrum is from A to Z. Generally, you could find a compromise between D and P to where that it made it work, to where that, you don't get everything you want. We didn't get everything we want, but we found something that made it better for everybody.
so we can be in the teepee and smoke out, and
Yeah.
yeah, and have stage and pass the bottle around, I mean, look at some cultures like even Central America, where halfway through the day they stop what they're doing on the assembly line and they go have a tequila and some lunch and some munchies and come back to work. They don't get sloshed, they just love their spirits. So everybody do it respectfully and do it with Bill Boone. His website is best.
Bestonlinebusinesses.com.
There it is. And well, let's roll into the last few minutes here. If you were to do it all over again, would you choose the same line of work?
Well, if I would have, yeah, if I knew what I knew, I would have started doing, I would have started as a coach. But the thing is, I would have done it, there would have probably been a different discipline because my business now is based on all the mistakes I made in the past. And with the goal of trying to help people that I coach not make those same mistakes, not to feel that same sense of loss and confusion and doubt while you're going through that process. My goal is to take people away from that process and help them identify they're going to be fulfilled with and live with and enjoy from day one, rather than after the 20th time they tried all these other things that didn't work for them or made them happy.
Right. That's like sitting in dirty bathwater.
Yeah, I want to make sure people get it. Instead you have the first bath is the clean bath. The dollar bath versus the 20-cent bath
Right.
in the Western days.
Right.
And so yeah, that would be the goal. Is that I've saved people a lot of time, a lot of frustration. Because a lot of the people I work with, they they they're willing to give up on the dream because they tried a few other things and failed, and then maybe they're with a non-supportive spouse, and that person doesn't support. Say, look, you tried this, you failed at this, you failed at this, you failed at this, and they start to believe that themselves and say that, geez, because of that, maybe I can't try something new, I can't start something new, and so they feel like they're out of options. And to me, then that's just living a life of frustration and unfulfillment, and something that is a waste. It's a waste of a good person.
So you after so many successful helpings have found keys to feeling overwhelmed and being successful.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: self-doubt leads to being overwhelmed. And the thing is, so there's that natural progression there. But then when we look at the world that we're in, there's 1,000 choices, and depending on which ad catches your attention or which Google attracts your attention, all those different things are feeding your brain with all this stuff, and then. But the thing is, what it takes is that you're being sold a bill of goods because it's not you. It's what you think sounds good because for that person it worked. So my goal is to help people identify what's going to work for you, not what worked for somebody else. It doesn't mean that what you're going to do didn't work for somebody else, but it's making the choice to finding all the things that worked for somebody else to good success. Here's the one that you're going to be able to copy. Yeah, absolutely. Self-doubt equals overwhelm. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, and I got some far out software here. So it's Ecamm, by the way, ECAMM. That's how I,
Okay.
you'll love this software. It's called Ecamm. And then I can do this. I can also, whoops, hang on just a minute. I can do this here, and it's fantastic. They have news tickers and backgrounds and different things. I can move everything around. So it's beautiful. We're with Bill Boone today. And let's get into our final moments here with Bill. I feel that we'll be bros for life. We're from the same dog year. We're born in the year of the dog, 1958, lay 'em straight. Guess what? Michael Jackson was born in 58.
On my birthday.
Oh my God. And Prince was born in 58. And you know who's got my birthday? Marvin Gaye.
And Madonna on my birthday.
Oh, wow. So you got Madonna and Michael Jackson. I have Marvin Gaye and Casanova. I have Marvin Gaye and Casanova on April 2nd. So it's a blessing and a delight to be with you. Give us some final words to send everybody home and to give them encouragement and remind them of your website.
Okay. Well, first of all, encouragement again, and remind everybody is that, life is too short and you're dead too long. And so while we're here, you want to make a difference. You want to be, I think, a good person. You want to love your neighbor and you want to be loved. And if all those things happen, then I think you've had a successful life. My website is bestonlinebusinesses.com, where you can take an entrepreneurial quiz to see what kind of entrepreneur you are. And this works whether if you have a business and you're feeling frustrated, take the quiz and see. Maybe you'll find out that, that business isn't the one I should have started. And maybe that's why I'm not feeling it as being fulfilling as I want it to be. And so and if you're not interested in business, you can still take it because it'll give you a personality assessment about, what kind of person you are. So it doesn't have to be tied to a business, but it's just a good insight to, I think the more we know about ourselves, the easier it is for us to function and to interact with other people. And so it's just another tool. It's, that you can have in your toolkit that, will help you have a little better self-awareness.
I love that. Toolkit is something that I use, what's in your toolbox today, or period. I used to carry around a keychain, and it had all the keys to all the doors until you're going to be my mind blown. I was with my dad in Palenque in 1977, and the mushrooms came out, the hongos in Mexico. And 3 days later, I saw my dad, and I didn't see him for 3 days, and I was 20 or 19, and the inside of that door that opened gave me the skeleton key to all the doors of being grounded and just knowing that tomorrow's a new day.
Right.
And so I don't have to carry that whole keychain around anymore and look for that key and then open that door of success or frustration or whatever my PTSD was, which I didn't have much. I was fortunate, like you were, to have good parents, So the legacy show, final words about you inspiring people to get on with their legacy.
Yeah, I try to help people find the right online business for them, or the right business for them, or to make that pivot that they need to make. So, I'm a certified dream coach, and so I help people rekindle and refine their dreams. And if they have a dream, we help put together a path to help them achieve that dream. But more often than not, the people that I end up working with are people that have lost the dream. They're people that are looking for a dream. They're not sure what they have permission to dream. They're somehow held back, or they've somehow been, beat up and told that they can't do this, they can't do that, and so they stop trying. And then that's been a frustration that holds back their life. It can affect your health. It not only does it affect your attitude and stuff, but it really affects, your longevity. And so, to me, it's helping them rekindle that something inside that, like when you're a kid and, and you're trying to walk, nobody ever tells you not to get up again when you fall. They help you get up again because they want to see you walk. And then it seems like as soon as once you're walking, then everybody's telling you to sit down and don't do anything. And so many people have been beat up to the point to where that they stop trying. And so I try to help inspire people and help bring them to the point to where that not only do they walk, they run.
So everybody, listen to your elders. We've been there, so we've crashed and burned and brought ourselves back. And so Bill is a great coach. You said coach. Now,
Yes.
So I love that. Now, what about last night?
Right.
Oh
I
my!
think you should have told him to take the time, go for just make some 2-pointers. Stop bombing them. Dude, they got lazy and they got complacent.
It was a coaching thing, I believe, last night. They needed you on the sidelines, and what's his name should not have gone up to shoot that shot that he missed and lost the game. He should have just held the ball.
Fox should have held the ball.
Yeah, Fox had 9 seconds left, and he just should have like this. So everybody, dribble your life out and find your bucket list that means something to you that you haven't done. Challenge yourself to do something different, and listen to Bill Boone. And Bill, I represent Peru retreats, and we do corporate retreats in Peru, and we go to Machu Picchu while we're down there, and we have special journeys and sacred land, and we have a hotel there. We pick you up from your airport on Saturday, and the next Saturday we take you back to the airport. So we would love to interview you and offer you to take 12 of your fantastic people down to Peru for a bucket list, for beautiful food,
awesome.
for beautiful food and everything like that. I'm going to do in September a photography retreat, and they're hiring me for 8 days for a corporate retreat, and the guy's charging $20,000 for each of his people to go down. But normally our retreats are between $7,000 and $10,000 per person, because it's 8 days, and it includes this and it includes that and it includes everything. And the people down there, Laura Diaz, who was on James Lamb's show also that week that we met each other on, she's fantastic. And so everything's in alignment. Let's follow up with that. I'd love to have a Zoom chat with you on that. And everybody, Bill Boone is awesome, and it's just so great to meet you, and a brother from 58 and our 50th high school reunion. Are you going to your 50th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm John Muir High School in Pasadena.
Oh, great. It's really cool. I love that. Hang on just a minute. I want to lower my hand. It's great to go and see, who's left and get caught up, and all that stuff, and at our school in Newport Beach, I went to 2 high schools. By Newport Beach High School was really cool. They were famous for water polo.
I played water polo.
Yeah, we were famous for water polo for sure. So what was your high school at Pasadena High School famous for?
John Muir.
For John Muir?
Yeah, so we played Newport Harbor, all the schools down there, Huntington Beach and everything like that.
We were the sailors. Yeah. And it was fun hanging out. Well, I was always by the pool making photos. This is water polo. you know, yeah, that's water polo where they would hold the ball and so it was really cool. I played golf yesterday for the first time in a year. I didn't do bad. My buddy got three pars, and we did the back nine, and that was pretty fun. And so everybody get out and do your heart and call Bill Boone at bestonlinebusiness.com. Bill, it's been great to see you. Let's book a Zoom chat with Laura and talk about the future and when it's not raining down there, when it's a good month for you to have. It's good to have 3 or 4 months in advance to gather your 12 people that want to go, and she'll do a landing page for you on her site, and everything, and then per student you get a certain fee and everything, and you can walk away with 10K in 8 days for being there. And there's a teaching space, and you do 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon, and in between we have food and we go out, and then at 3 in the morning on a Thursday we get into a van and we go with our passports and we go on a train with a glass ceiling in the jungles, and we go to Machu Picchu all day, 6 hours at Machu Picchu. So it's a bucket list. We'd love to have you.
Okay, awesome. Definitely look at finding out more information about that.
Okay, ham ham parade, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen. I'm off to LA tomorrow. And Bill, what's next for you? Testimonials?
Yeah, just finishing. Yeah, just collecting all that stuff. I mean, like I said, I got to get back to that company now that's doing those for me now.
So fantastic. So we've had finals, and Bill's an awesome soul, and I can see it in your eyes, Bill. We got similar. Here, I'll give you a little.
Yeah, I can see it.
We got
coming up beside here.
we got the brown eyes. I always tell the young kids with big afros. I said, "Here's the future." Here's the future. White afro.
It'll change on you, that's for sure.
So I say, "Here's the future, kids," and that's all I got today. Everybody, it's been a blessing. I didn't get yanked at the dentist this morning. And being with Bill Boone was not like sitting in the dentist chair. It's been a pleasure, Bill.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Here we go. Peace out, and I'll see you on campus. And definitely, I'll follow up with you. You follow up with me about Peru retreat. We'd love to have you. That's fucking fun. Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Peace out. Thank you, Bill.
Hippie house.
There's the bed.
I can tell it's a hippie house.
Yeah, man. Why
Thank
not?
you.
Your friend's in the bathroom.
Great. Rico! What's up, my friend? My sweet baby.
Hi, Rico. Hi.
Yeah, I'll forget.
You know where the
Not there yet. Well, you can see it if you come to the video and do a couple jobs. I don't know. Okay. Thanks, Jeffrey. Yeah. Did she leave?
Huh?
I wanna
She's
say
on her
goodbye.
bike ride.
Okay, I'm gonna say bye. Jeff, you need a Band-Aid?
What?
I need a
Oh, sure.
Band-Aid. I cut myself.
Oh, be careful with that.
I just put a little.
That'll kind of burn you.
Oh, you already have it. Cool. Ooh.
You were brave.
Do you have a paper towel I can run up? There we go. Oh, it's getting
A little bubbly.
rub it in the hair. I need more paper towels if you can. Just want to get it dry. Ooh, it burns! Ow!
That's cool of you.
It means it's working. Will you nurse me?
You like this guy?
The singer?
No, this guy right here.
Oh, yeah, you told us about him already.
Oh, he's looking very nice.
Yeah, that's a special strain that boosts your memory.
It could be penicillin. This plant could be worth $1 million.
Okay, Rico!
All right, kids.
All right.
Let's keep going. Okay.
So good to see you again.
Yeah.
Have fun in LA.
Wedding. We got a wedding.
Yeah, have fun. Oh yeah, your daughter's wedding?
No. Oh, yeah.
Is it hard with it?
The only thing I've got to do is go drop off some MSG for Sylvia at work. MSG. Okay, good. And so this is granola with some edible chocolate yeah, it's like a surprise that there's edible chocolate and edible brownie in there. Mixed in with granola. Yeah.
No.
I thought he was a little longer, but he's still very cool. That's awesome. He's got a little mushroom and everything.
For this night? Yeah. You want to?
Yeah.
You have to be up here? I get mine.
I'm just gonna top it off a little bit. It's still got a I want to put this in hand at all times. Yes.
This is what I got for my girlfriend in San Diego.
I love it.
She's got so much
Oh, I missed there. Yeah.
I had like a very sexy meeting last night. Or like not, like it was only decided and stuff.
Yeah.
I was at a friend's birthday party and someone who was not there. And I decided someone else to be on my side, I'm like, I know one point I was like, oh, it was like I need more of this. Every day I'm like, yes.
Always whisper back to me, lonely trumpet far away. Play the words I couldn't say. In the dawn is gone, shadows stretching on and on. Every breath, every sigh feels like one more soft goodbye. Echo en la noche, corazón. Fades like a broken song.
So that's what I'm wearing for the wedding. That's what I'm wearing for the wedding.
Oh.
It's a big time.
Oh, it's gonna be really nice.
The French logo.
Neon crying under stars.
Jeff, this is probably it. I need to
Your reflection on the rain
It's all queued up for
comes
everything.
and
Because she comes out in the morning and she does that.
She's so cute. She's constantly
fragile
looking right at it.
She is
quiet
She was freaking out.
every
Perfect for me.
She goes out and she dandelions and she made the garden happen.
en la noche,
Yeah.
You never know. That's why you always gotta be ready.
Yeah, right club.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good song.
That is a good one. I'll see you next time. Have a good time in LA at the wedding.
So down here, looking at
ghost inside of me.
Jeff, how long are you gone?
She's all of this.
So beautiful.
I was asked to go to Spain this weekend. Mary Jane Expo in Spain. And I said next year I'm going with her. And I won't go anywhere anymore unless somebody finds me. At my age, see, my friend just had his 50th high school reunion from Bellevue, and he flew out from Boston, and I went and saw him the other day, and he said that at dinner, he talked to all of his girls' buddies from high school. He said, we only have 10 years.
Lost between the
Yes. Yeah, she's only her 20. You know,
every road leads back to you. And so goodbye. I've had a breeze, a lonely sigh.
No puedo quedarme mirando la vida. Cuando suena el sol se me enciende la herida.
You got it.
Desde pequeño crecí en la esquina, con el repique marcando la vida. Mi padre decía no pares de moverte, que el ritmo te guía más fuerte que la suerte. Yo fuego adentro, no puedo callarlo, si suena el amor yo tengo que bailarlo. Tengo fuego adentro corriendo en mis venas, el sol es la llave que rompe cadenas. Si tú vienes triste con pena en el alma, súbele al ritmo y verás cómo sana. Que cada golpe del fuego te eleva.
I just finished my show, and the girls left from doing the bus. Yeah, I miss you.
Tengo fuego adentro corriendo en mis venas, el sol es la llave que rompe cadenas. Mueve la cintura, rompe la pena, siente el latido, corre en la arena, sube la noche, no hay despedida, bailando de amor, el alma encendida, con fuego adentro no puedo callarlo, si suena el tambor tengo que bailarlo, tengo fuego adentro corriendo en mis venas, el son es la llave que rompe cadenas, soy hijo del son, sabor y pasión, tambor y calor, el que lo sintió bailó. Tengo fuego adentro, no puedo callarlo. Tengo fuego adentro, no puedo callarlo. Desde lejos te recuerdo, como un sueño al despertar, tus caminos y tus cielos, que no dejo de nombrar, aunque el tiempo me ha llevado por lugares sin tu voz. Hay un canto que ha quedado viviendo dentro de mí. Ay, mi tierra querida, vuelve a sonar. En cada paso me vuelves a llamar. Mi tierra querida, raíz de mi voz. Aunque cruce mil caminos, sigo siendo de vos. Tus mañanas encendidas y el perfume del café, las historias compartidas que no puedo deshacer, y ese viento que susurra con memoria y claridad me recuerda en cada duda siempre vuelve hasta ti. Ay, mi tierra querida, vuelve a sonar. En cada paso me vuelves a llamar. Mi tierra querida, raíz de mi voz, aunque cruce mil caminos, sigo siendo de vos, sigo siendo de vos, sigo siendo de vos, sigo siendo de vos. Mi tierra, mi voz, mi camino, mi amor.
Call Vivian McKee.
Cuando suena el cuero no puedo parar. Siento en el pecho ganas de bailar.
You're in Renton right now?
You're
You're house painting? Oh man, okay, I painted for years. I'll leave you here. I just walked in my house. I'm off to LA tomorrow. I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to a wedding with
Palmas arriba marcando el compás. Nadie se queda mirando jamás. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, no puedo evitar. Si suena la rumba, me pongo a bailar. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, fuego tropical. El son me levanta, no me deja parar. Si tú vienes triste, sin ilusión, deja la pena, escucha el son, que cada golpe te va a curar y poco a poco te hará volar. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, no puedo evitar. Si suena la rumba, me pongo a bailar. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, fuego tropical, el son me levanta, no me deja parar. Mueve la cintura, rompe el dolor, siente la clave dentro del tambor, sube la noche, baja el control, todo el mundo pierde el rol. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, no puedo evitar. Si suena la rumba, me pongo a bailar. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, fuego tropical. El son me levanta, no me deja parar. Soy del barrio, soy del son, con sabor y corazón. Rumba. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, no puedo evitar. Tengo ritmo en la sangre, no puedo parar. Calles viejas bajo el sol, paredes cuentan su canción, puertas abiertas sin reloj, guardan risas de otro amor. Zapatos viejos al pasar, ecos que no quieren callar. Cada esquina tiene un ayer y aún se deja ver. Calles antiguas de mi ciudad, donde aprendí a soñar. Entre guitarras y el tambor se quedó mi corazón. Calles antiguas, luz de ayer, que no se deja perder. Aunque el tiempo sigue en pie, siempre vuelvo a usted. Ventanas hablan sin voz, sombras bailan con el sol. Un radio viejo en el portal sigue queriendo sonar. La abuela mira desde allí, como si el tiempo no se fue. Y en su sonrisa puedo ver lo que fui y lo que seré. Calles antiguas de mi ciudad, donde aprendí a soñar. Entre guitarras y el tambor se quedó mi corazón. Si el mundo cambia sin mirar, hay cosas que no van a olvidar, porque en el alma vivirán los pasos que dejé atrás. Recuerdo van, vienen y van, pero la calle sigue igual. Calles antiguas de mi ciudad, donde aprendí a soñar. Entre guitarras y el tambor